special effects water tank. And to get a better idea of how this unique set is used, please watch the overhead monitors. In that famous squid fight from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that giant squid was a monstrous marvel called a full-size mechanical effect. And in the Poseidon adventure, that tidal wave created by large water-filled duct tanks rolled over a scaled-down model of an ocean liner.
Take a video.
Well, here at the Disney MGM Studios, we have our very own dump tanks, as well as a mechanical marvel, this pilot house. Now, this pilot house is a full-size recreation of what you would find on an actual tugboat. It also serves as a mock-up for our miniature tugboat here, the Misfortune. And speaking of misfortune, looks like we've got two brave volunteers. Hi there, what's your name?
Emily?
Hi, Emily. And your name?
Linda.
Well, Linda, it's been nice knowing you. You'll please turn around and follow Adam there. Step inside and spin the wheel of Misfortune. While Linda's getting ready, Emily and I are going to create a storm sequence. We're going to be using some heavy-duty mechanical effects. But first, I'm going to check on the skipper. Oh, hi there, Skipper Linda. How you doing? Are you enjoying the show? Good. Well, you might enjoy it a lot more if you don't put that hood on. You might want to pull the strings, yeah, really tight. Trust me on this one. Now the scene begins as Adam rocks the pilot house to simulate movement on the high seas. To make it more believable, we'll add some rain. And in just a moment, we'll be adding wind as well, but we need y'all to cue the action. On the count of 3, I need everyone to yell as loud as they can, dump it. When they yell dump it, Emily, you're going to gently push this silver bar all the way over. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ready.
And cut. Emily, that was great. Now let's take the scene that we just shot and edit it together with footage of our miniature tugboat that was filmed in a tank just like this using the same wind and rain effects. We'll see how miniatures, mechanical effects, and 2 highly trained professionals can work together to create a classic high seas adventure. Well, considering Emily just dumped 400 gallons of water over Skipper Linda's head, I'd say that she weathered that storm pretty well. Let's give them both a round of applause. Now, what else can we do in a tank like this? Well, recreate the full battle at sea to really sink the whole budget. So we use miniatures like the ones you see here in our tanks. And how do we film a miniature ship heading through the ocean? Keep your eyes on the overhead monitors, we'll show you. If we leave the water surface flat, then our ship appears fake, so we have waves. But if the waves are too big, our ship looks like a toy in the bathtub. To get around these problems, we use large fans to create very small, fast-moving waves. Then we slow everything down to give the scene the proper scale.
It's a lot of water.
And by adding smoke, sound effects, and some dramatic music, our battle scene is almost complete.
Yeah, it's okay.
I did say almost complete. We still need a few things like explosions provided by underwater air cannons. We also need a talented actress. Well, today we have Emily. And a highly trained special effects expert.
It's gonna have water.
Linda back there, who I heard just recently retired from acting. Well, Emily, now it's your turn. Today you're playing the part of Captain Duck. To make our VSS totally sinkable and our action-packed adventure all hands on deck. Are you ready? Here's your scene. You're out on patrol. In the deepest, the very darkest regions of our special effects water tank, when off in the distance to your left, Captain, you spot a battleship and decide to run a torpedo straight through the bow section. Now fire away, Captain. Nice shot. Unfortunately, that one is one of ours. Enemy air attack at 10 o'clock, that Captain Duck. I don't know about you, Captain, but I'm glad that's over. Or is it well, Captain, it looks like you survived this air attack.
Give me a napkin. Do you have a towel?
Give me a towel quickly. Revenge of your skipper. And take a good look around you, Captain. She's got torpedoes aimed at you from
Me tell,
every
quick.
direction. Fire torpedoes.
No, no, no.
They're getting closer. Inch closer, Captain. You're a dead duck. Nice.
Did you get wet? Did you get wet? That was.
I remember this.
It does too, doesn't it? Hey, Laura, why is there
We're gonna get
water
wet now? We're gonna get soaked.
Let me officially welcome everyone to the Disney MGM Studios today. We are the Florida counterpart to Walt Disney Studios out in Burbank, California. As I mentioned before, my name is Christy. I'll be your tour guide. Look high up in the sky towards the front of the shuttle. You'll see our award-winning air-cooled power. Its design was based on the water tank Walt Disney had built at his Burbank studios in 1939. Ours stands a lucky 13 stories tall, and it's capped off by a large set of Mickey Mouse ears. Each one of those ears weighs over 2.5 tons. The tower's 28.5 foot diameter translates into a hat size of 342 3/8. We know that hat size because during past holiday seasons, we've topped that tower with a big red stocking cap. The Disney MGM Studios is much more than just a theme park. We're actually a high-tech working production center. We feature sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art editing facilities, and recording studios as we get closer to that area. Over to your right is the first of many prop vehicles we're going to be looking at today. This is a 1/5 scale model of the Space Shuttle Freedom. It's from Disney's blockbuster hit Armageddon. The shuttle is about 35 feet long. It's made of wood, epoxy, and fiberglass over an aluminum frame, and in Hollywood it's considered a miniature. If it was brought up to its full size, it would be 30. Had Tom Hanks here when he was filming his HBO miniseries From the Earth to the Moon. Academy Award winner Sir Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr. were here not too long ago filming the television show Sheena. That's your full tower. Because right now we're going to enter one of the more glamorous areas of our studio. This is creative costuming. In costuming, the whole process begins with the designer's sketch. You can see examples of some of those sketches over on the far wall. Later, our talented seamstresses and tailors turn those sketches into the finished garments worn by our performers. And over to your left in our showcases, you can see examples of some of these costumes from movies like Gone in 60 Seconds, The Sixth Sense, Shanghai Noon. We have a team of about 250 skilled professionals using over 1.5 million yards of fabric a year to create over 25,000 costumes. This makes ours the largest working wardrobe in the world. Let's say for that television show I was talking about earlier, it's called Sheena, and once again that stars Gina Lee Nolan from Baywatch. Sheena is a syndicated show, so check your local listings for the time and channel. Over to your right is one of our other prop storage areas, mostly used for larger props. Got some stuff coming up in there from George of the Jungle. At the end of the tunnel, watch out for a large prop vehicle that's got a price tag of about $1.2 million. Take a quick look over to your left, we'll see our main scenic shop, where scenic artists and designers create all the sets used on our sound stages, as well as out on location. One of the great things about the movies is that they can take us to so many different places in nature. And coming up next, we're going to look at some unusual. And because different scripts call for different neighborhoods, each of the 8 houses on this street were designed to reflect different styles of American architecture. When Jim Varney was here filming Ernest Saves Christmas, they got smashed up and blown apart. A lot of them end up right here in our boneyard. Most large studios have boneyards where oversized props are kept until they're needed for another production. The 3 totem heads coming up on the corner are from the adventure film The 13th Warrior, starring Antonio Banderas. The silver and red spaceship was flown by Christopher Lloyd in My Favorite Martian. This miniature cattle car was used to transport a miniature Mighty Joe Young. And all the military-looking vehicles were used by Steven Spielberg for Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. You may want to pay close attention to the tread on this tank coming up. It's made of foam rubber instead of steel. It saved a lot of wear and tear on the actors who had to be repeatedly thrown on top of it. The 2 small mining cars are from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And this yellow futuristic forklift is from Bicentennial Man. Up next are a series of props from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The first one is Judge Doom's infamous Dipmobile. And right behind it we have an orange trolley car, which is actually a modified city bus. If you look closely, you'll see that the steel wheels are made of fiberglass and that they're just fitted over the tires of the bus. And finally, from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, we have 3 blue Plymouths meant to show just one car in different stages of destruction. The yellow helicopters from Ellen's Energy Adventure, now playing in Epcot's Universe of Energy. The blue helicopter cockpit is from the film Blue Thunder. We have 2 prop planes from Disney's The Rocketeer. The long black speedboat is from a television show called Disney Presents The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. Behind the speedboat are 2 spaceships from Starship Troopers, between them some mining cars from The Rock, and behind all that is a big silver space pod. That's Max from The Flight of the Navigator. Up ahead of us is a large standing set where we filmed several TV specials and commercials, and this is where they've been testing those special effects I was telling you about. From the direction we're heading in, it looks like our driver Terry has got his clearance to go on inside, so we will be able to take a quick look around the set while the production crew is on break from filming. Since we're going to be traveling over a bumpy bridge, folks, please keep a firm grasp on all those loose items. And remember, it's very important that you do remain fully seated at all times.
Hey, you're going to get soaked.
This canyon was modeled after an actual canyon in Southern California. It took our production crew almost 6 months to build. That may seem like a long time for just one set, but it's not so bad when you consider how long it would have taken Mother Nature to create the real thing.
Oh, look at that.
Alright, now it looks like you're going to be able to stop up here for a few moments so you can take some pictures. I'll tell you some facts about the canyon. Up above where you can't see are some special platforms where cameras are mounted so that they can shoot down onto the set below. If you take a look across the ravine, that large tanker truck used to be in our boneyard. Since we couldn't drive it across the ravine, we had to hoist it up with a crane over the canyon wall and lower it down into place for the shot. Earlier today, they were testing a rain effect, and you know we can create just about anything here in our backlot, even the weather. This is called Hollywood rain. To create it, high-powered water spouts are placed up above out of camera range. Nozzles on the end of those spouts spray that water outward in a complicated crisscross pattern to give it a more natural look as it's falling onto the set. Believe it or not, that tanker truck is not getting wet at all. The water's going sprayed out of Scene 1, take 2. Production crew, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. I have a torch tunnel down here, guys. Hey guys, can you hear me up there? You know what, folks? I think they're going ahead with a full effects take. We are going to be in the scene. Just hang on, everybody. Another take. I don't think so. I think one was more than enough for us. Let's get out of here. Terry, whenever you're ready, we're all here. Well, congratulations, everyone. You just survived Catastrophe Canyon. What do you think about it? Did you like that? Alright, now we're going to take a look behind the scenes to see how some of these catastrophes were created. The canyon itself is a steel structure covered with wire mesh. The wire mesh is then covered with a layer of colored concrete, then hand-carved to look like natural rock formations. The small yellow pipes running throughout the set carry the gas from the fire and explosions you saw. The large gray pipes carry the water from the flash flood. That flood was created when we opened the gates to 3 large tanks located at the top of the canyon, sending over 70,000 gallons of water thundering down the canyon towards our shuttle. To add more action to that scene, some of that water is flown into the canyon by air cannons. These air cannons are so powerful, if we took one to New York City and stuck a basketball in it, we could shoot that basketball up and over the top of the Empire State Building. The earthquake effect you felt was caused by large hydraulic shaker tables located underneath the bridge, and pumps 1, 2, and 3 coming up at the end are now busy recycling all that water you just saw back up to the top of the canyon. Catastrophe Canyon was created with the help of the Hollywood special effects team, so it seemed like an out-of-control disaster was actually a safe computerized sequence of events. The whole show can be reset and restarted in just 3.5 minutes. On our busiest days, that's just enough time for our next shuttle load of these, so sit back, relax, we should be there in just a few moments. As we're heading back, take note of the 234 Mickey Mouse coming up on your right-hand side. That was Walt Disney, while looking for the perfect location for Walt Disney World. Miles an hour. And that's pretty amazing considering there isn't one real brick in any of these buildings. They're mostly made of styrofoam, a little bit of wood, and some colored concrete. As we pass by the Washington Square Arch, take a look through it, you'll see the New York City skyline right here in Orlando. But those skyscrapers are really just painted flats positioned at the end of the street. A little trick we call forced perspective. The real Empire State Building stands over 100 stories tall, while ours is just over 4. And that does bring us to the last step on our tour, the American Film Institute Showcase. Our current exhibit inside is called Driving the Story. It features transit comes to a complete stop. Check around to make sure you have all those personal belongings. When I open up the door, so you're going to want to step down carefully, head beyond the yellow safety line, and through the blue sliding glass doors towards the front of the shuttle.